All right, Keith. Well, our power crews are already getting ready for this storm. Central Maine Power has told us they're putting 200 line workers plus 166 contracted line workers, then 120 tree crews all on standby ready to restore power. Are we expecting a lot of power outages from some of this snow, wet, heavy snow?
I do think there'll be a risk of that in that transition zone that goes back and forth between rain and snow, because it'll be just windy enough. So we'll see winds 35, maybe 40 miles an hour. So that's going to be a factor really probably tomorrow night into early Saturday. Here's our storm, which is actually wrapped up and occluded back to this out in Minneapolis, but it's going to kind of break off and turn into a coastal low that moves northeast. And that's the chunk that we're going to be dealing with here tomorrow and into Saturday. Now, tonight is quiet. There's not a whole lot going on. There's a coastal front setting up that'll give us just a little bit of rain and snow shower activity right along the immediate coastline here. But it doesn't look like there's going to be a whole lot of action until tomorrow morning. And that's when the snow moves in from southwest to northeast. And even then, this is 6 o'clock tomorrow. The models vary by an hour or so, but generally a lot of the state still pretty dry through this time, 6 a.m. So I think the morning commute for a lot of us won't be a big deal. It's not until Friday midday snow starts to overspread half the state, and a place like Bangor probably waits until sunset or a little after before the snow moves in there. Meanwhile, it's all snow here. We've got this rain-snow line issue along the coastline. That's been the key to this whole storm, right? Where's that rain-snow line going to set up? Well, I think the answer is it doesn't really set up. It goes back and forth. So in this case, Friday, 9 o'clock, Portland's 34. So it could be snowing, but it's probably not really accumulating. The rain snow line gets a little bit farther south, it's 35. And so farther inland, it's all snow, and it's a pasty snow right in that transition zone. It's a lighter snow into the mountains, but the rain snow line keeps going back and forth along the coastline, and that ends up being pretty messy. I think we're going to see several inches of slush along the coast because we're transitioning between that really pasty snow and rain. Saturday morning, it's still snowing pretty good through about the middle of the day, and then it lightens up in the afternoon to light snow and snow showers, and we're done with this thing on Saturday night. So our map looks pretty similar to what it did a couple of days ago. This bullseye came down a little bit, and the gradient is really tight here, and that's why we zoomed in on the map just to show you, okay, you know, you're in Cape Elizabeth, you're in South Portland. That could be 2 or 3 inches, but you get into the North Deering part of Portland and you might be talking about 5 or 6 inches. And then you get into Windham, 6 to 10. So it's a really drastic change in a short amount of distance. And the same deal here. Now, Bangor is technically on the line. I've gotten a lot of questions about this. I think Bangor is in 6 to 10. That's what I would consider them. I think they have a better chance of being on that range as opposed to the 3 to 6 here. And then down East Maine is in the 1 to 3 zone. And wait, there's more. Next week, coming at you for a limited engagement, Thursday and into Friday, boom, huge storm. So we'll see how that one ends up. Either it's going to be very Christmassy or it's going to be a big old rainstorm. There's something out there, though, for sure, on Friday next week, Thursday night, Friday. So at least we get a few days of break in between, or at least I do. It's not a whole lot going on there for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, guys. So this storm will be interesting. Inland, it's looked the same the whole way. Good looking storm. The coast, it's going to be an adventure going back and forth.
I have so many questions. But
Yes.
when you were talking about the neighborhood specifically, right? Like in one city or town might see kind of that variation. Would it really be as drastic as, 3 inches in one part of town and 6 inches in another, or would it be more of a spectrum?
I think so. I think in the case of like what I was just talking about, where you're really talking about maybe, hey, Commercial Street in Portland versus, North Deering.
Riverside
I do think
Street.
it'll be that tight in this zone, and then from there it gets a little bit more uniform from there.
Why does that happen?
It's just rain snow line. It's just how long can we hold snow? Is the surface temperature 32? Is it 34? Because I think we're going to be doing a lot of 34 in snow along the coast, which is pretty, but doesn't add up that quickly.
But things are not normally this razor thin.
No, that's why it's fun.
Fun for you, yeah.
Well, and we've got time, get the sand ready, salt ready, generators ready, and if you've got elderly neighbors, get ready to check on them too. So lots of fun coming our way. Thanks, Keith.